All right, something long overdue is finally happening. And I think it's to the betterment of everyone involved with Pitt football and maybe Pitt athletics. And certainly on the collective front, the NIL front, you've probably seen this news. Alliance 412 offering members at a certain level an opportunity to go to a closed scrimmage. I almost couldn't believe it when I saw it. But after I got over the shock, I should say, and lifted myself back up the floor and picked my jaw up off the ground, I said, that's a brilliant move, one that has some implications that you may not have thought about. So let's talk about this big move by Alliance 412, an even bigger move by the Pitt football program here on the Morning Pitt on youtube.com/Panther-Lair.com. Yeah, we got to talk a little NIL, a little collective action here today on the Morning Pitt on youtube.com/Panther-Lair.com. It's Wednesday. It's the middle of the week. You've made it thus far. We're not that far away from the weekend, so we're humming right along. Pitt football got the spring practice going again yesterday. We had lots of coverage from that. We'll have even more throughout the day today, heading into tomorrow's practice. And then, of course, after that, they have a scrimmage on Saturday, which just so happens to be one of our main topics for today. But of course, before we get into that, I got to tell you all the little ins and outs of what we ask you to do every day. Like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. youtube.com/Panther-Lair.com is a place where we put all of our Pitt video content, these daily morning Pitt videos that we do every day of the week, Monday through Friday. Our weekly live show that we do every Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. That'll be tonight. So you have that to look forward to. Me and Jim Hammett would get together and have a little Pitt sports conversation. And then we have post-game shows, we have, interviews, practice highlights, press conferences, all kinds of things. All the Pitt video content you could possibly be looking for. It's right here at youtube.com/Panther-Lair.com. You want to make sure you don't miss any of it. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Subscribe button is right down there. There it is. I'm pointing at it now. Good job by me. Click that subscribe button and you won't miss any of our Pitt video content here at youtube.com/Panther-Lair.com. And then, of course, head over to the website, Panther-Lair.com, Pittsburgh.rivals.com, the most comprehensive source of Pitt sports news on the internet, football, basketball, and recruiting. You find it all at Panther-Lair.com, and message boards to interact with hundreds and thousands of other Pitt fans. All day, every day, Pitt fans are hanging out on the message boards at Panther-Lair.com, Pittsburgh.rivals.com. And we'd love for you to come and hang out as well to catch up on all of the Pitt sports news. The message boards really are lively all day, every day. And if you want to be part of that conversation, you want to join the best online community of Pitt sports fans that you're going to find, that's the place to do it. Panther-Lair.com, Pittsburgh.rivals.com. Now, the announcement came, I want to say Monday. I think Alliance 412 announced on Monday that members of a certain level were invited to attend Saturday's scrimmage. I believe it's at Acrisure Stadium that they're holding the scrimmage. And it's a, first of all, very prominently advertised as a closed scrimmage because Pitt's scrimmages under Pat Narduzzi have always been closed to everyone. Basically, unless you are, well, I shouldn't say everyone, because if you're an athletic department employee, if you're the family of a player, if you're a recruit, if you're a high school coach, and probably any other number of, certainly if you're a donor, a booster of a certain level, lots of people could get in. It was closed to the media and closed to the general public. We couldn't all go in, but it was open to a lot of people. But generally speaking, if you were just a fan, you couldn't really get in. You needed some kind of reason to be there, whether you're a high school coach, a recruit, a family member, whatever. And what is happening now is on this Saturday, Alliance 412 members at a certain level can come and attend the scrimmage and watch it. Now, I'm sure there will be, I don't know if they'll have you sign a non-disclosure agreement, but it's going to be something close to that. There will be high expectations that you keep everything you see a secret and you don't take any pictures or videos and things like that. And I'm sure everyone who attends will absolutely follow those instructions because we know on the message boards at Panther-Lair.com that people don't always follow those instructions, right? There's posts all the time because when you have anonymous message board posters, sometimes things are going to get out. But nevertheless, that always makes it just fun on the message boards. But it's more interesting, this concept of what they're doing. Now, for Alliance 412, I believe they said it's their members at the royal level or above. Royal member Royal level members contribute $100 a month or $1,100 a year. And then there's the gold level, which is higher than that. It's $250 a month or $2,750 a year. And the Alliance premium members, they're $500 a month and $5,500 annually. And each of those levels, Royal, Gold, and Alliance Premium, will get an invitation to a team practice. Is what I'm reading it off their website right now. You get a virtual athlete Q&A. I assume that means the Q&A is virtual, not the athlete is virtual. There's Alliance 412 raffles, Alliance 412 tailgate event, which most of these levels, whether it's the Panther-Lair level, the 1976 Society level, the 412 Club level, up and through, Royal, Gold, and Alliance Premium. All of the, most of those levels have the entrance into the raffles and, maybe a Q&A or a tailgate event. But the Royal, Gold, and Premium all get an invitation to attend a team practice. Now, I'm not sure what that's looked like in as it's actually happened. I don't know if you've been able to choose your practice or whatever, but all of those levels are now invited to this scrimmage on Saturday. And $100 a month or $1,100 a year, I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at. That's a decent chunk of change. In the grand scheme of things, you're going to need a lot of those $100 a month donors to get what you need out of NIL and get what you need out of the transfer portal and player retention and all the other things that NIL is used for, and it's mostly those two things. But I think the idea is you want to get as many of those $100 a month members as possible. There's always sort of a truth, and I think this applies to college athletics fundraising, in it, as well as sort of like this collective operation, the NIL operation, where you need as many of those $100 a month people as possible, or $250 a month, or whatever it is. You also need those big whales. You know what I mean? You also need those people who are going to give a giant chunk, who are going to give you one big amount that's going to help you get, 2 or 3 key guys. You need a mix of that. Some schools are going to get big chunks from people every month. Most schools are probably going to be in the situation that Pitt's in, where you're going to want those big donors and then also a strong foundation of people going every month, doing, this Royal level of $100 a month or $1,100 a year. And so this is obviously, when you look at it from Alliance 412's perspective, and I think it's important to look at it from a couple different perspectives. I think when you look at it from Alliance 412's perspective, this opportunity to attend a spring scrimmage is it's a membership drive. You know what I mean? It's a membership drive. It's an attempt to get more people up to that level, that Royal level, or the what was the level above it? Yellow? No, gold. Excuse me. The Royal level, the Gold level, or the Alliance Premium level. It's all an attempt to get more people, and they wouldn't say that they're selling access to a spring camp scrimmage, but I would sort of liken it to the old PBS telethons. Like, we're not selling you this mug and this tote bag. We're asking for your donation, and in exchange, we'll offer you a gift as a way of showing thanks. We'll give you a gift of a mug and a tote bag. Except in this case, the gift is the opportunity to watch the football team play its actual offense and its actual defense in a scrimmage setting at Acrisure Stadium. Which, let's be honest, when you go to the spring game next weekend, on the 13th, that's not going to be the real offense and the real defense. As we all know, that's the watered-down vanilla version of both of those units that you're going to see. You're going to see some tempo. You're not going to really see a whole lot that is indicative of what they're going to do next season. You will see it on Saturday, though, in the scrimmage. And so there is some appeal there, and there is some draw. I think if you're trying to sell it to people. And again, you're not selling access to the scrimmage. You're giving that as a token of appreciation. You know what I mean? It's the same thing with Boy Scouts sell popcorn. I don't know if you ever bought Boy Scout popcorn, but it's way overpriced, and it's not nearly, what it's worth. You know what I mean? Like the quality is not nearly worth what you spend on it. But you have to sort of change your thinking of it, of like, okay, I'm not actually buying popcorn. I'm donating and receiving a gift in exchange, a token of appreciation. And that's what this scrimmage access is. And I think we mostly understand that. And look, let's be honest. it's pretty intriguing. I think for the people that you're trying to get involved at the NIL level, giving them an opportunity to actually see the team is I think there's some appeal there. You know what I mean? I think you're going to draw some people in. I think you're going to get some people interested in this, and probably, I would imagine, have a pretty successful campaign. And you might sit back and say, well, actually, like, you're right. Like, you're probably going to get a decent, probably a few dozen people who sign up, maybe who weren't signed up before, who, like, I don't know what the number would be, but I would have to imagine that there are 100 Pitt fans out there who would be willing to pay $100 a month, donate $100 a month, and get a chance to go to the spring scrimmage in exchange. You know, I would have to think those people are out there. And so you might sit back and think about it and say, that's a good idea. Why didn't Alliance 412 do this before? What are those guys thinking? And here we come to the more important point. Here we come to the more relevant point about this whole thing. And my biggest takeaway from when I first saw the news, what should be your biggest takeaway, and what should be what I think makes the most impact out of all of this, okay? I'm sure Alliance 412 has wanted to do something like this. But Alliance 412 doesn't get to just decide to do something like this, to bring in 100 fans, or however many they're going to have, to the scrimmage on Saturday. Somebody has to approve that. Somebody has to sign off on that. And they don't work at Alliance 412. The people who have to sign off on this and approve it. They work in the South Side, and they work in the Peterson Event Center. The biggest takeaway from this event and this opportunity is not that Alliance 412 is finding new ways to engage with the members and potential members. It's that Pitt signed off on it. It's that Pitt said, okay, let's do that. It's that Panther-Lair.com said, okay, let's do that. It's that Heather Lyke said, okay, let's do that. Because all of those people are involved in this decision. And it doesn't happen without them saying, okay. And the fact that they said, okay, is a giant leap forward in terms of Pitt, the university, and the athletic department embracing NIL, understanding NIL, and doing what it can to drive NIL donations. All right. I was looking through YouTube videos. I think it was February 28th. You can go back and find one where I did a video and I said, is Pitt doing enough to support NIL? And I was talking about at the athletic department and administrative level. Are they doing enough? Are they embracing NIL? Are they doing everything they can to help Alliance 412 raise the money that will be used to bring in new players and to retain the players they need to hold on to? And my general takeaway or conclusion of that video of, is Pitt doing enough to support NIL? The answer was no, they're not. This is a huge forward-facing, very public step forward in Pitt truly diving into NIL. I don't think it can be overstated how big this is. This is Pat Narduzzi saying, I am going to do something that I have never done in 10 years. And open the practice up. Open up a scrimmage. The entire thing. All to help Alliance 412 drive NIL donations. This is Heather Lyke signing off on it. That yes, because, okay, ultimately, the decision of who to let into practice, that's Pat Narduzzi's decision. But to make such a forward public statement about embracing NIL and trying to drive NIL donations, like, I don't think that happens without Heather Lyke saying, okay, yes, I want us to send that message. Because if Heather Lyke really didn't want the athletic department to be so forward about engaging and encouraging NIL donations, then I don't think this would happen. But to me, the fact that this is happening is a massive statement from Pat Narduzzi, from Heather Lyke, from the athletic department, from the university, about how committed they are to driving the NIL fundraising. And you can hold your nose. You can feel bad about it. You can say this stinks. This isn't the college football I grew up loving. This isn't the college sports. I'm signing off. I'm done with it all. Like, you could say all that and good, great. Like kudos to you, man. You are standing up and taking a stand. But if you want your team to win, this is what they have to do. And you have to hold your nose to write the check. You hold your nose and you write the check. And I'm not trying to give you a pump-up speech. I don't care what you do with your money. Do whatever you want. But if you want your team to win, this is how they have to win. And you don't have to like it. I don't even know if I like it. I mean, I want the players to be able to receive compensation for what they're doing. But I don't know if this is the best system. I'm pretty sure it's not. But it's the system that you have right now. And so you can sit back and say, no, we are not engaging with this system. And you can watch the rest of the sport go on. Yeah, I mean, like that's really what it is. You can sit back and say, we're going to stay on the moral high ground and watch the rest of the sport move on without you while you wait for the new system to take over. Or you can say, well, this is the way the water's running right now. We have to jump in the stream and keep pace with the current until something changes. And something will change. 3 years from now, 5 years from now, there'll be a different system. But until then, you have to find a way to hold on. Until then, you have to find a way to be competitive. Until then, you have to find a way to get good players on your roster so you can win games. And the biggest thing that the athletic department has always needed to understand and always needed to embrace and has always needed to just give into and realize is that if football wins, everybody gets more money. Like, if football wins, and men's basketball too, everybody gets more money. And even if you're sitting back, if you're athletic, if you're Heather Like or you're someone in the athletic department, you're saying, the more money we drive to the collective, the less money we're going to bring in to the Panther Club or general athletic donations or whatever it is. And that's true for right now. There's a finite sum of money that will ever be donated to Pitt Athletics in 2024. And the more of it you pull away to the collective and NIL, the less of it there's going to be for all the things you want to do. But if that money adds a playmaking defensive end or a really good quarterback or whatever it is and helps the team win, if that money brings back Jalen Lowe and Ishmael Leggett and holds on to Bub Carrington and adds like a key, like two big forwards and that makes this team a legitimate Sweet 16 contender, if those things happen, if football wins 9 or 10 games or competes for the ACC or whatever it does, if basketball realizes the potential that it's got this year, you know what's going to happen? All the money's going to go up. The rising tide, and it'll lift all boats. And you can sit back and you can talk about Olympic sports and you can talk about facilities and your victory heights and all your different things. You know what it comes down to, man? You got to win football games and you got to win men's basketball games. And that's no disrespect to the vast majority of student athletes at Pitt who are playing other sports. But if you want to have better facilities, you need the football team to win. If you want to have updated whatevers, you need the men's basketball team to win. You know how you win in those sports right now? You get the NIL money up. And it might mean that you get a little bit less in donations because more of it's going to the NIL, but it'll more than even out. It won't just even out. If the football team wins and the basketball team wins, that money's going to go up. Your money, the Panther Club money, the money for Victory Heights and all those other things you want to do that are really nice and make the whole university proud and look like a well-rounded institution that supports all of its student athletes to give them the best experience and winning championships and all of those things. You got to win football games and men's basketball games. That's a reality that's been a reality for a long time, and it's even more stark now than it ever was before. And if you want to win men's basketball games and you want to win football games, you got to come up with the NIL money. This move, opening this scrimmage, to me, is the most direct acknowledgement of an endorsement for the NIL world and Alliance 412 that we have seen yet from this Pitt Athletic Department. The biggest one. I think it's huge. I don't think you can overstate it. And if Heather Like had to hold her nose when she signed off on it, that's fine. It doesn't matter. You don't have to like it. You can or you can't. It doesn't matter if you like it. You have to do it. And they're doing it. So I'll be interested to see. We'll see if we can dig around and find out how what kind of response Alliance 412 got to this, with this promotion. But I'm going to guess they're doing pretty well out of it. And I think they should. It's an opportunity to see the team and support the team. And make them better. So we'll see what Saturday brings. But that's my thought on that. Don't forget, we got the live show tonight at 8 o'clock. Me and Jim Hammett will talk about this and everything else going on in the world of Pitt sports right here on youtube.com/Panther-Lair.com. So make sure you like this video and subscribe, youtube.com/Panther-Lair.com, so you don't miss any of our Pitt video content. And then check out the website, Panther-Lair.com, Pittsburgh.rivals.com. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Make sure you tune in tonight for the live show, and we will catch up with you tomorrow morning for the Morning Pit right here on youtube.com/Panther-Lair.com.